Hey, good day. This is Robert Brown. How you doing today? This is a cell phone, right? We've been able to do so many great things as a result of apps. Watch TV, watch movies, listen to music, purchase items, purchase hotel, you name it. We've been able to do this through an app. Find out about a medical situation, whatever, through an app. Well, we never thought about accessing the justice system through an app until today. Today, everyone, rich or poor, in the United States, all provinces of Canada, and in Great Britain, now can access a law firm by tapping the app. That's right, you have a law firm now in the palm of your hand, at least I do. I'm here to educate you about this. See, there's a problem in America today. The words on the Supreme Court building say equal justice for all, and it says it up there and been saying that for a long time. But yet, that's the biggest lie in America that's ever been told. You're only going to get just as much justice as you can afford, and you're only going to get it just as much justice as you have access to. Well, I represent a company known as Legal Shield, and we have made it more affordable and more easier to access the justice system without worrying about that high hourly cost. We put you in a position where you can get the same level of quality law firms available to you like the wealthy. I'm going to explain it more clearly in another video, but right now I just want to talk about an epidemic that's going on in America today. See, I live in an urban city. And I work with churches, teachers association, you name it, to make sure we do whatever we can to protect them and our babies. I represent another organization called the Protection Coalition. It used to be known as the ID Theft Coalition, and our job is to bring in various types of protection that's easy and affordable for people to have as a portfolio of protecting their household. And this is where I come in concerning you. I'm here to protect you and your babies. I want you to watch this video, and this video would explain what is actually going on in the streets, and what we, Legal Shield, myself, mainly as a representative of Legal Shield, and my team can do for our community to deal with this situation. Watch this.
Tonight, truly explosive allegations in an I-Team exclusive interview.
They're coming from police officers who are part of what's being called the NYPD 12 cops who filed a class action lawsuit in federal court. They claim the NYPD is breaking the law by pressuring officers to meet quotas for arrests and summonses and punishing those who don't do it.
In Sabila, the police commissioner declined to be interviewed for this story, citing the officer's lawsuit. But he has repeatedly maintained that numerical quotas do not exist. The department spokesman said members are expected to do their jobs, and that just like any other organization, there are performance standards through which employees are evaluated.
There's a quota system. There always has been, and there always will be until someone changes it.
Y'all see that? That's what they targeted.
They're plaintiffs in a federal class action lawsuit that claims the NYPD is violating a 2010 state ban on quotas, speaking out together for the first time. These NYPD officers, all currently on the job, say it's true. They've all worked the streets, the subways, and patrolled housing developments.
The department says there are no quotas.
Well, I can tell you, I'm a police officer. There are quotas in the NYPD.
Are they lying?
Absolutely. It's illegal for them to admit it.
They come from different precincts, largely minority neighborhoods in Brooklyn or the Bronx, but their stories are remarkably similar.
They tell you this to your face. Black Hispanics between 14 to 21. They must get stopped.
At the end of the month, these officers, whoever don't have that arrest or those few summonses, they're pressured to find something. You might not see nothing. You're supposed to be visible. You might not see anything, but you go hunting, like bounty hunting for an arrest. Locking up some old guy, some homeless guy, finding somebody who's riding their bicycle on the sidewalk, who's spitting, and you bring him in.
The problem is when you go hunting, when you put any type of numbers on a police officer to perform, we are gonna go to the most vulnerable.
The most vulnerable?
Of course, we're gonna go to LGBT community, we're gonna go to the black community, we're gonna go to those people that have no vote, that have no power. If we start doing what we're doing in Midtown Manhattan, a phone call to the mayor's office is gonna be made. That's gonna be the end of it.
We're the predators, they're the prey. The worst thing you can have is a police officer that needs an arrest for the month.
All they want us to do is go out there and lock them up. They told us it's easier to get numbers out here because you you work in this type of community.
So you're all minorities. How does that make you feel?
It's horrible.
This is something coming from the top that trickles its way down, and this is why we're all here today.
Are you arresting for stuff that you shouldn't be arresting for?
Well, that's why we're here. We don't do it. We refuse, and because of that, we are retaliated against.
Because you're not harassing people, you're being punished. It doesn't make for a great work environment because they want you to harass people.
The lawsuit claims minority officers are punished more severely than white cops for failing to meet quotas. The city denies it.
And the community are suffering the most.
Because?
Because the pressure, because the quota, because the police department is like a whore pretending to be a lady.
Well, as you see, 12 police officers, NYPD, explain to them that they're forced to perform. They're forced to adhere to a quota system. They claim, NYPD claim they don't have a quota system, but they do. They just changed the name of it. They call it performance or evaluation, monthly evaluations. How are you performing today? That's what they're really saying. They're not saying, I want to evaluate your work. No, it's the same thing. They just changed the name. And it is illegal in New York State, in New York City, to be having performance numbers showing how much you bringing in for us, tickets, summons, warrants, you name it. And 9 times out of 10, they know they can easily find those in various neighborhoods because they were told that. You saw one officer said they told me that I need you to target blacks and Latinos 15 to 21. So if you got a black or Latino or a black looking or Latino looking child that you are the parent of or the guardian of, this is a warning. They're coming after our babies and we need to protect them. That's where I come in. This officer said, we're forced to hunt. We're forced to go to neighborhoods that they know cannot afford access to the justice system. We're not forced to go to Midtown Manhattan or Lower Manhattan. We are forced to go to Uptown Manhattan. Or we're forced to go to the Bronx, or we're forced to go to Brooklyn or Queens because they have a high percentage of blacks and Latinos, or I say black looking and Latino looking, because you got people that fit in the middle of that in the brown category. People from Guyana, people from Mexico, not Mexico, people from Guyana, people from Africa, people from Ethiopia, people from the Middle East that fits in that category. Now you know this is going on. What are we doing about it? That is where I come in. We have a program developed to handle that situation. This program gives not just you, but your children that's in your care access to the justice system. And they can get it simple and easy, and it's a disruptive model. They can do it through a phone app. Every child pretty much has a phone. And oftentimes when they're being questioned, detained, or arrested by police, they have a right to call an attorney. The Miranda rights is not, I have a right to call my mom, my dad, my pastor, whatever. The Miranda rights is designed for you to call your attorney, but they know most people don't have an attorney in the evening times or on the weekends. Most people don't have an attorney, period. They have to go searching for one, and it's hard to search for one because they have to check their checkbooks before they check their rights. But I am here to do whatever I can to help educate them on their rights. And the easiest way is not me doing a million workshops, because I can do that all day, on accessing your rights as a citizen of America, because you do have constitutional rights. Most of our kids don't know it because most of us as parents never took time to teach them the constitutional rights dealing with law enforcement, because we didn't know it. And now it's too late to go up for us to go Google it, and we can YouTube it, but that's just a lot going on. So we made it simpler, easier, and disruptive. We developed an app. Let me see if I can show you this app. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's called a Legal Shield app, the big L at the bottom. All right. You can download that app from the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store. It's absolutely free. Doesn't cost you a dime. You can play with it, but in order to use it to the best of ability, you have to become a subscriber. It's no different from Netflix. It's no different from Spotify. And most of you have that. You have Netflix, you have Spotify. You got so many apps on your phone, and you probably at least got a subscription on 5 of them out of the 100 that you probably have on your phone. So you find value in those apps. I find value in the apps that I have. I get it. But there's nothing to me more valuable than this Legal Shield app. Just by tapping this app on this phone, you'll be able to, let me see if I can show it to you. Call my law firm. If you got any questions, you want to ask your attorney, once you become a member, your attorney's staying ready right now you to ask them questions. If you got any questions, personal questions, I don't care if it's a landlord-tenant issue, your child in school, a neighbor, somebody trying to violate your rights, you can pick up the phone and ask them a question in that area. You might need counsel about a certain situation. Pick up the phone, call your attorney, tap the app, and the app will connect you to the law firm, and you can ask those questions, and that attorney will give you and your children, I want to say that because they have access to it, you and your children access to the justice system where they can get legal counsel, legal advice, what to do in the situation, whether it's a situation where it will prosper you or a heated situation, they will have access to that. Also, you yourself, the adult, will be able to get your will done through this app, which is incredible. Not having a will is actually saying, I'm willing to love you up to the point that I die. But now you'll be able to get a will done. You'll get a healthcare power attorney, a medical director, all that stuff. You'll get a document where you can determine what can happen to you if you are incapacitated. You don't want nobody making that decision. You definitely don't want the state of New York making that decision for you, because they'll make the decision for you and you will not like it. So put yourself in a position where you can just tap that app and start your will. Get your will done. Let your will be done on this earth. If you get a ticket, if you drive like a teenager, or you got teenage drivers, you'll be able to just tap the app and submit a ticket, submit that ticket to the law firm, and the law firm will get somebody to represent you on that ticket. Now that's huge. Just snap the photo of your citation, and your provider law firm will assist you with non-criminal moving traffic matters. And there's only a $25 copay. Okay, well, I gotta pay $25, and that is such a huge value because oftentimes we're taking time off of work, losing money that day. Oftentimes travel, if it's in another part of New York, sometimes we just let the ticket go and we just pay it, which is a mission of guilt, and it put points on your records if you're in another state. You ever wonder why most time you get a ticket is when you're traveling out of state? Because they know you're not coming back to pay the ticket. It's an easy way for them to make money. So now you or your children who drive, now whenever you get a moving violation, you'll have somebody to represent you in that situation. Now, if it's not in New York, there's no copay to this, but New York, there is a $25 copay. The $25 is more cheaper than you taking time off of work, because they'll go represent you. You don't have to go represent you. They'll do it. It's more cheaper than you traveling. And more important, it's more cheaper than you getting points on your record for that ticket. But that's available to you and your children who drive. Also available to you through this app, just by tapping the app. If you got any forms, any document contracts that you sign or you plan on signing, you can always contact your attorney before you sign those contracts. See, the wealthy, they will always tell you, I'm not signing anything until my attorney take a look at this. Well, you can say the same thing now. The reason you never said that, because it costs too much money to have somebody read it, so you're going to try to read it. You're going to try to understand, or you try to get a smart family member to let you know what it says. When it's not in what's in the contract that hurts you, it's what's not in the contract sometimes. So now you'll be able to fax all your contracts or take a picture through the app of all the contracts and documents, and they will go over those contracts and documents for you. They'll give you advice and counsel on those contracts and documents. If need be, they'll renegotiate the contract and document. That's what happened to me before when I was purchasing a car. And more important, they'll let you know whether it's a good thing to sign or not. But that's available to you now. And you're not going to get a bill in the mail for none of this stuff. It's available through the subscription-based app. Free legal forms. If you need to get a type of document pulled up, you'll be able to go to the website and download that legal form, and the attorney will help you enforce those documents. But I want to stop here. There's more to this, and I'm not going to go over this because this is mainly for me to get into a place where I can talk to people in a bigger numbers, like Parent Teachers Association or Parent Association, Daycare Association, Boys Club, Girls Club, church youth group, churches, you name it. I'm trying to get into these places to do one thing: protect you and protect your babies, because they're gunning for them. And right now, I don't see anything else other than this to really help them out. Right here, you see it. Let me move it over here. You see that? It's the emergency legal access. Emergency legal access. This gives your children 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365, Christmas morning, New Year's morning. It doesn't matter what day it is, what time it is. They have a law firm in the palm of their hand. They have a law firm in their pocket. So no matter whether they're in college, no matter whether they're visiting grandma or whatever, they have access to these top law firms. So if your child is being questioned, detained, possibly arrested by the police, they can enforce their Miranda rights and actually call an attorney. Most of the time, they enforcing their Miranda rights. They're not going to be able to call anybody until they get to intake. And for those who've been arrested before, like me, I know what intake is. Intake is a long process of them putting you in jail until you see a judge. Well, you have the right to an attorney, and you don't have to wait all the way till you get to intake. You have a right to call your attorney, and you have a right to call them right away, and you can say that because it is your legal right, and they have to wear those body cams. And you can say, if it's your intention to detain, question, arrest me, allow me to call my attorney. Is it your intention to detain, question, or arrest me? No more of your child going back and forth with the police. No more of you going back and forth with the police. You can clearly state with this membership, and the value of this program with just this alone is worth the investment. But you can say to the officer, if you got any questions, if it is your intention to detain or arrest me, I have a right to call my attorney now. They're not used to that. They know people in our community, most of them don't have access to an attorney 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a week, even on holidays. You ever wonder why the numbers go up when after 6 o'clock in the evening and on the weekends, and why police officers are doing their best to get their numbers up during that time instead of during the daytime? Why? Because it's easier, because you don't have access to a fight. You heard one officer said that we're told to go to these communities because they have no power, meaning they have no money. They have no vote. They have no power. Why? Because they don't have access to the justice system. They don't mess with Midtown or Lower Manhattan because those people have access. May not be to the highest caliber, but they do have access. Because there's a wealth gap between the wealth and the middle class or poor, between the different sections of your city and my city. So they're not going to come to you, their neighborhood. They're coming to your neighborhood. That's the reason why they're throwing your child who just came out of the bodega, put them on the ground, put the knee in the back of their neck, search them without a warrant, and ask them all these questions. And a lot of times they get tripped up and end up going through processing. I'm here to stop that. My crew is here to stop that. My team is here to stop that. So what we want to do is we want to get an opportunity to come to your establishment. You pick the date and the time. Mornings are preferable, and Tuesdays and Thursdays are perfect, but I'm open. And we want to come there and present this quick 15-minute presentation to the parents to the synagogue members, to the church members, to the members of the boys club or any kind of civic league or club. We want to present this because this is happening. And 9 times out of 10, you have no defense. If you are not a criminal attorney, you can't defend anybody that end up in this situation. And this can happen to not just 15 to 21, but this is happening to everybody. But their goal, as this guy said, their target is 15, 21, Latino and black. I say Latino and black looking in the boroughs, in the areas where it's middle class or lower. And the reason they're doing it is because they have no vote. They have no power. And sure, you got some officers can't stand this, but they are pressured to do this. Then you got some officers just don't care. They don't like our community, and they're going to do whatever they can to use us to make them look good. I'm saying it's time that we put ourselves in a position where we can defend ourselves and our children. We have a solution. We know the problem. We know what's going on. There's a solution. It's not the 100% best solution, but in my book, it's the best solution out yet. Because legal aid ain't going to be able to help you out of a lot of these situations. And why would you trust a government agency to help you when you have your own law firm in the palm of your hand? My number is below. Give us a call. Let us come in, talk to you in your community. 15 minutes is all we need. And they serve a little refreshment after that. And let's get people locked up on this and go over these memberships. This is a subscription-based membership. And it starts as low as $15.95 a month. $15.95 a month not only gives you 24 hours, 7 days a week, access to some of the best attorneys in the country, but it gives you a whole host of other stuff too. They'll review all your contracts and documents before you sign it, so you don't have to make the mistake that we've all made before when signing documents. They'll give you advice and counsel on just about anything under the sun. They'll fight your traffic tickets no matter what state you got it in. They'll prepare your will, living will, medical power of attorney. It covers you, your spouse, or significant other, not both. It covers your child up to age 21. It covers any guardian, any kid that you're the guardian of up to age 18. It covers disabled that's living with you, a disabled child that's living with you. It covers them for life. If you got college kid, it covers them for up to age 23. So it covers the entire family, $15.95 a month for the standard plan. Now we have more plans that have a little more to it, but the basic things that you need right now, my investment is a great investment just for the 24-hour access to the attorneys, because they will stop you if you're black or Latino. They can and they will. You just need to be prepared for it. Your children need to be prepared for it. And I am here. The Protection Coalition is here, powered by Legal Shield, to make sure that we present this program, show you how we'll protect you, and put you in a position where you can protect yourself. Just by tapping the app on the phone. We've come a long way. Equal access to the justice system is better, and now it's more accessible. Through an app on a phone that you can just tap, you and your children will have access to some of the best law firms in the country. And yeah, even in an emergency situation, it do not matter where you are, they'll be able to tap the app and enforce their rights in the face of the officer. Instead of them doing all the talking, the attorney will talk for them and represent them in the face of the officer. And believe me, that is more powerful than you can ever imagine, because the lawyers know how to get stuff done. And that's why you need access. I'm Robert Brown with the Protection Coalition, formerly known as the ID Theft Coalition. I am a senior director with Legal Shield. And I'm here because I am trying to become the change. I don't just want to change, I want to become the change. And I know you are in your position because you don't just want to change, you want to become the change. So let's work together to change this particular thing that's going on in our community. Talk to you soon.
"24/7. Everybody says that nowadays. What's that mean? 24/7. In our case, that means you have access to an attorney around the clock. There's the beautiful part of our product that there's always somebody a phone call away. If you're stopped in the middle of the night in the hinterlands of America, or I'll say Canada, and you need a lawyer because you just been stopped by a law enforcement officer, we'll say, and you're one of our members, and something bad has happened, a traffic stop, and maybe a search of a car, who knows? Maybe they found something in your son's car that's called contraband. A contraband could be simple as alcohol, an open container, a pistol or something like that, a firearm. Okay, he needs to call a lawyer in the middle of the night. And you might say, well, that's impossible because everybody goes home on the week. No. Our product is access to an attorney anytime, anywhere. Call Legal Shield. 24/7, 7 days a week. Call Legal Shield. And they'll find you a lawyer right then and there. That's right. In the hinterlands, in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere. We're there for you. As they say, we got your back. I mean, that's what we exist for. And there's no other product like it anytime, anywhere that I can think of. That is a sense of security. That is having a lawyer a phone call away. That is access to justice. And that is the beauty of our product and our incredible, unique network of provider attorneys.